What's going on? Welcome back to the PvP Legacy. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of watching a show that was so interesting that it had my brain firing on all cylinders, alright? Full on Jimmy Neutron neuron activation style theories were popping out my brain left and right. And of course, I'm talking about Edge of Sleep. Now, I'm not like the biggest Markiplier fanboy, but even I would eventually somehow catch wind of Edge of Sleep. In fact, I caught wind of it when it was first announced, and then I never really cared for it until I saw the trailer for it. Once I saw the trailer for Edge of Sleep, I was hooked immediately. I wanted to watch this, but unfortunately I'm poor and I don't remember my parents' passcode into Amazon Prime, so I watched it with some of my buddies, and that was like completely like by accident. We just happened to all be in the same VC, and then Exil was like, "Hey, guess what? I have it, and we're gonna watch it." And he was saying it's better when you're sleep deprived, and I disagree. I don't think that's just the case. But I guess in the sense that we were basically playing along with our heroes of this story because it was like 3 in the morning when we were watching this. But if you don't know what the Edge of Sleep is, then big spoiler warning: I will be talking about the movie, sorry, the show, and some of like the plot points and other things. So, but for those who are unaware and don't care for spoilers, we follow Markiplier, aka Dave Torres, with his sleeping uh, issue. Basically, he has like some crazy sleep paralysis that he has full control over, but he also doesn't have full control over. He basically gets hunted down by the same creature over and over and over and over again, while also talking to giant whales, which is pretty cool actually. Seeing the whales constantly come in every now and again, it's like just like little bits of happy moments for all of the sadness that goes on inside of Dave's brain here. But despite all of the little quirks that our boy Dave, aka Markiplier, has, we follow him and his best friend Mateo, who is played by Franz Dharma. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing the name. I probably am. But him and his best friend are doing a whole bunch of wacky doodads and basically playing security guard, which is something that we got absolutely robbed of because Markiplier said, "Nah, I'm not gonna be in the FNAF movie. I'm gonna go make my own movie." Cringe. I'm, I guess, semi interested in seeing what Iron Lung turns out to be. But nevertheless, back on track here. So, the world around them falls into a deep slumber, except none of them are actually sleeping, they're all dead. They all died in their sleep, and it is revealed a little later on that they didn't die in their sleep, but they did at the same time. Essentially, these people were dreaming. They were dreaming and then they died in their dream and that killed them in the real world. And when I figured that out, or well, when we were told that essentially, my neuron activation Jimmy Neutron moment was here, right? I was whipping out theories left and right as if I was Matt Pat himself. All right, like the first thing that my brain latched onto was SAO or Sword Art Online if you're unfamiliar. Essentially, it has a similar premise, but instead of, dreaming, it's video games. So, in the Edge of Sleep universe, if you fall asleep and die in your dream, you die in the real world. In SAO, if you die in the game, you die in the real world. So, my brain automatically started pumping out a theory, alright? Really working on this one. What if you beat your nightmares, right? Your sleep demons, as one could call it. And towards the end of the sixth episode, it kind of just says, "Hey, you beat your demons," even though Dave never went to sleep. Markiplier never took a snooze. It was only for like 2 minutes and it wasn't long enough to actually kill him. But, he's like, oh, you beat your demons, you're in the Holy Land now. But that's not where my theory is going. No, no, no. My theory is if you're one of the unlucky few to rest their weary eyes to go back to that 9 to 5 you absolutely hate working at, and you close your eyes, you had a really stressful day, and then you fall asleep into your deep slumber where you are attacked by, I can only assume is like your worst nightmare or your sleep paralysis demon. And then you just have like a epic 1v1. And most people get full boxed, full piece combo, 200 pump to the face. But my theory is what happens if you're the one who full piece combos 200 pumps your demons? What happens then? Do you wake up? Do you just continue your day? Or do you continue to fight the same demon or just keep reliving that dream over and over and over and over again until you eventually lose, which I think is like the most likely source, but it would be really funny if you just got lucky enough to beat this demon first try without even knowing what was even going on, because I mean, how do you prepare for something like that? And then just continue about your day. Like you just go about your day and realize, wait, everyone is now dead, right? It'd be like a crazy wake up call. But yeah, so that's just a theory that I've had since like I don't know, I learned that was how people were dying. So Dave and his merry band crew. Well, I mean, it first starts out with Dave and Mateo, and then it eventually gets to Dave, Mateo, and Linda, and then Dave, Mateo, Linda, and Katie. But what is very interesting, right, is that Dave has a very special connection to the things going on in the world currently. Essentially, not only can he like fully be lucid while dreaming, but also have like these dreams can also have like real world like consequences. An example is when we saw little Davy boy basically get put into like this Bacta tank slash test tube by Dr. Lewis and his science experiments, right? And in David's perspective, in Dave's perspective, he was basically getting jumped by this elephant man and kind of basically his worst nightmare. And I guess fight or flight kicked in, and he said, "I'm gonna kill you." And he reached for the nearest weapon and shanked the monster. But in the real world, it was actually the doctor just trying to wake him up so he would stop having a nightmares, and he accidentally killed the doctor, obviously not by his own fault. Another example would be where his ex, or Katie, saw him in the bathroom shirtless. Not like that, obviously. And that wasn't all. But essentially, he was standing there chanting satanic ritual stuff, summoning Surtur himself with a triangle that he carved onto his chest with a shard of glass. Basically, whatever happens in his dreams has a real world consequence, and he's been using that, or kind of understands a little bit that, hey, perhaps these dreams are trying to tell me something. So he dreams and dreams and dreams a little bit, and then he kind of figures things out a little bit more. I wish I was really a lot more enthusiastic about this. I mean, I think Edge of Sleep is awesome. Like, I went in this with kind of like pretty low expectations. I mean, I go into everything with like low expectations, but I was very solemnly surprised about how well everything is. But the only reason why I just don't have the energy because I didn't sleep last night. I literally just pulled an Edge of Sleep and just said fuck it, we ball, and just decided to not sleep at all. So I'm pretty tired right now. But yeah, I was very surprised by the overall acting of all the characters. I think everyone fit their role pretty well, and I was actually really surprised by Markiplier's ability to act because I've never seen him act before. So big props to him for pulling off this character and playing it really well. I think everyone fit the role very well. I think the Leo, you know, I'm not even gonna bother. The actor who played Katie, um, was like, I want to say like the weakest role out of, you know, our main four characters. Not saying that they did a bad job. I think that they did a fine job. Like it overall, the character was played as a good character, but I think it was one of the weaker like roles to kind of be placed into. But I mean, what can you do other than just play at your best? Apparently, essentially. Sorry, I'm so tired right now. I'm just like scrambling over words. I'm making this sound like really bad. I think Edge of Sleep is fine. It looks awesome. I do have a complaint though. Um, the Elephant Man, I was kind of disappointed in a little bit. Like when I first saw the trailer for it, what we saw was the elephant monster as an actual like horror like creature, like this full like an actual elephant with like Wendigo tusks and trunk and like an actual like demonic being, and that was kind of what I was expecting for this elephant monster, but that just wasn't at all what we got. We got like this malformed witch that you would see out of Hansel and Gretel or something like that, just like some disgusting being. And I don't know, I feel like it could have done more, and I'm hoping that if they ever make more, which I mean, so far they're doing pretty well for themselves. So if they ever decide to make more, I hope we can get to see more of this elephant monster, or at least in like its final form. That would be pretty cool. And I mean, we were also left on like a cliffhanger with everyone like waking up and all their dead bodies being like possessed. I'm assuming by their internal demons that they lost to. I mean, imagine that could not be me. But yeah, I would say more. I'd probably be a lot more enthusiastic about it if I actually had sleep. Unfortunately, I didn't. So I'm gonna go shut my eyes and go fight my internal demons. If I lose, then I won't make another video. If I win, then I'll post something probably. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.